He is the artist who composed timeless romantic songs.
Stuck on you, got this feeling down deep in my soul.
And your eyes, they tell me how.
Hello, is it me you're looking as we go down life's lonesome highway?
Lionel Richie is a true icon of the 70s and 80s. From his time with the Commodores to becoming a renowned ballad singer, he wrote songs that turned into classics. His repertoire includes styles like funk, soul, and pop.
Do anything, just please stay. Oh, yeah. Once you get started, you can't sit down. So come on, let's get loose. Don't hold back.
In his youth, Lionel excelled in tennis and even considered a religious life as an Episcopal priest, but his passion for music prevailed. He once shared that one of his first performances with his band changed his life. A group of girls screamed for him, and it was the first time he felt the audience's affection. "I didn't play basketball, football, or baseball. I played tennis, and no girls screamed on the tennis court. Right after those girls screamed, I remember thinking to myself, I guess I'm not cut out to be a priest." Lionel left the Commodores to shine in his solo career with hits like Hello and All Night Long, but fame came with a price. He faced criticism for not making enough black music, and his personal life was also affected when his wife caught him in a hotel with another woman, ending an 18-year marriage. Do you want to know more about this story? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Lionel Richie song? Lionel Brockman Richie Jr., born on June 20th, 1949 in Tuskegee, Alabama, grew up in a well-educated family that loved music. His father worked as a systems analyst in the U.S. Army, and his mother was a school principal. Lionel spent his childhood at his maternal grandparents' house near Tuskegee University. His grandmother, who played classical piano, taught him about music and the great composers. From an early age, he showed signs of the talent he would later develop, though his grandmother didn't value it much at the time. During my lessons, I would always try to create my own songs, and it irritated her. Initially, Lionel enjoyed gospel music and considered becoming a priest, but he also liked African American pop and country music. In his teens, he and his family moved to Illinois, where he attended high school and excelled in tennis, which gave him a great sense of achievement. After playing tennis for a few years, he earned a scholarship to study at Tuskegee University. There, he tried to continue in the sport, but soon realized it wasn't for him. Lionel brought a saxophone to university, a gift from an uncle, thinking it would help him meet girls. However, the instrument caught the attention of 5 freshmen who were forming a band. Lionel joined them, setting aside his plan to become a priest to focus on music. He ended up studying economics with a specialization in accounting, which greatly helped in managing the business side of the Commodores and his own career. The original lineup of the group included Walter Orange on drums, Thomas McClary on guitar, Milan Williams on keyboards, Ronald LaPrede on bass, William King on trumpet, and Lionel Richie on saxophone. Initially, they were known as Mystics, but they changed their name to Commodores, a name they picked randomly from a dictionary. At that time, Lionel became the lead vocalist despite being extremely shy. Drummer Walter Orange heard him singing in the shower and encouraged him to sing on stage, which was a very strange and uncomfortable experience for Lionel. His friends were surprised. "I was wondering, what is Lionel doing up there trying to sing?" commented a college friend. Encouraged by their local fan success, the Commodores took advantage of the summer break to seek gig opportunities in New York in the early 70s. Once there, they gained a manager named Benny Ashburn, who signed them and booked performances at various famous nightclubs. Soon, they ended up on a European tour. During one show, they caught the attention of Motown Records executive Suzanne DePass, who arranged for them to open for the Jackson 5's American tour in 1971. This opportunity brought the Commodores significant attention in the music scene, leading to a contract with Motown. Initially, they stood out with party songs that blended elements of R&B, funk, disco, and soul, producing hits like Machine Gun, The Bump, and Brick House. However, by the mid-Yakias 70s, the group began to feel that dance tracks were fleeting. They wanted to focus on ballads, which they believed had a better chance of becoming timeless classics. During this period, Lionel focused more on songwriting. The 1975 album, Caught in the Act, featured his first successful ballads, Sweet Love and Just to Be Close to You. They continued releasing slow songs that gained immense popularity, largely thanks to Lionel's romantic lyrics and smooth voice. Songs like Easy, 3 Times a Lady, Sail On, and Still marked the Commodores' stylistic shift. 3 Times a Lady, written by Lionel and inspired by his parents' wedding anniversary, was the group's first hit to top the charts in both the United States and the United Kingdom in 1978. In 1979, Still became their second hit to reach #1 on the music charts.
Sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. With every beat of mine, I gave you my heart, and I tried to make you happy, 'cause I needed you so.
As a vocalist and songwriter, Lionel never liked being confined to specific categories, but to progress in music, especially as an African American from Alabama in the late 60s, adaptation was necessary. In a 1978 interview, he said that although he preferred a more rock-oriented style, he had to accept that the music industry was primarily divided into R&B and pop. The Commodores' journey challenged critics, achieving enormous success both in the United States and internationally. Rolling Stone magazine even called them the Black Beatles due to their immense success in the late 70s. Lionel's broad musical talent led to collaborations with other artists, including country singer Kenny Rogers, for whom he wrote and produced Lady in 1980, and singer Diana Ross, with whom he recorded Endless Love in 1981. This song, the theme for the film Endless Love, not only topped the charts, but was also nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe for Best Original Song. Additionally, it received 5 Grammy nominations. These partnerships helped rapidly increase his popularity and eventually led to his departure from the Commodores. In 1982, Lionel released his first solo album, which included the ballad Truly, comparable to his best moments of the 70s. The album also featured other notable songs like Serves You Right, You Are, and Wandering Stranger. By the mid-80s, he had become Motown's biggest star, not only because his music was great, but also because many of the label's other famous artists had left. Inspired by the success of Michael Jackson's Thriller, he released the album Can't Slow Down in October 1983. This album was a blockbuster, with hits like Stuck on You, Penny Lover, and Hello, which was a smash hit in 1984. The calypso-infused All Night Long was the album's standout hit, with a vibrant and colorful music video. Can't Slow Down achieved enormous success, topping the charts in several countries, selling over 20 million copies worldwide, and winning the Grammy for Album of the Year in 1985.
On you, got this feeling down deep in my soul. Girl, I'll do anything, just please stay. Oh, hello, is it me you? Yeah, once you get started, you can't sit down.
Years after opening for the Jackson 5 in the early 70s, Lionel teamed up with Michael Jackson again to write the charity single We Are the World, aimed at raising money for famine relief in Africa. The single brought together numerous artists, including Kenny Rogers, Tina Turner, Billy Joel, Cyndi Lauper, and Diana Ross, under the name USA for Africa. Besides raising over $60 million for humanitarian aid in Africa and the United States, the song was a global commercial success, topping the charts and becoming the first single to achieve multi-platinum certification. Lionel's third album, Dancing on the Ceiling, was released in October 1986. Much in the same vein as Can't Slow Down, it included the song Say You Say Me, which won an Oscar and which Lionel had written the previous year for the film White Nights. The upbeat title track came with a $400,000 promotional video full of video tricks, showing him literally dancing on the ceiling. Q Magazine commented that the overall standard of songwriting and arrangement was obsessively high, while Rolling Stone stated that the album set an impressive standard for mainstream pop music in the 80s. Indeed, Lionel is skilled at composing hit songs, and you might be wondering where all that musical talent comes from. The singer himself believes that his gift comes from God, whom he calls his co-writer. I give credit to my co-writer because all I did was write what he told me to write. Lionel also explained that he prefers to compose at night. According to him, from 11 at night until 7 in the morning is a wonderful time because God is not busy with many other people. I know he's very busy during the day, so I wait for the night, and it works for me. Although he believes his talent is a divine gift, it hasn't shielded him from criticism about his musical style. Some people said his music wasn't black enough and questioned his racial identity, asking why a black guy was writing a waltz. This bothered him a lot, especially since he took great pride in his culture and rich upbringing. As I mentioned at the beginning, Lionel grew up and studied at Tuskegee Institute, a historic black college. He was influenced by several notable African-American figures, including Alfred Chief Anderson, a black aviation pioneer who also studied there. Lionel always admired people like Anderson and learned to always give his best, following the principle that failure is not an option. Despite the criticism, he remained steadfast in his goals and refused to limit himself to a single musical style. He advocated that black artists are capable of mastering all musical genres. After the success of Dancing on the Ceiling, Lionel slowed down his production. It took a decade for him to record his next studio album, Louder Than Words, in 1996. Although it was a commercial success, the album was not as well received as his works from the 80s. In the following 15 years, the response to his work was weak. In 2012, he returned to the spotlight with Tuskegee, an album that reimagined his greatest hits as country duets, featuring artists like Shania Twain and Willie Nelson, among others. Within a few weeks, the album reached the top of the Billboard Top 200 in country music charts and became one of the best-selling albums of the year. In 2018, he became a judge on the show American Idol, alongside pop singer Katy Perry and country singer Luke Bryan. With over 100 million records sold, a career spanning 5 decades, and an estimated fortune of $200 million, Lionel Richie is a music legend who has captivated audiences with his timeless romantic ballads. It's no surprise that his personal life has had its share of romance as well. Lionel married Brenda Harvey in 1975, his college sweetheart. They were together for 18 years but ended up divorcing in 1993 after a tumultuous period, largely due to Lionel's infidelities. During a happier time in their marriage, they adopted Nicole, who was only 9 years old at the time. In a 2015 interview with Piers Morgan, Lionel shared that he decided to adopt her after falling in love with her, even though her biological parents were struggling with their relationship. He recalled telling Nicole, "You are going to make your biological family wish they had kept you." With that, they formalized the adoption in 1990. In 1986, while still married, Lionel began a relationship with Diane Alexander. Things got serious, and in 1988, Brenda discovered him and his mistress together in a hotel room in Beverly Hills, where she pretended to be room service. Lionel continued his relationship with Diane, and they eventually married in 1995, 2 years after his divorce from Brenda was finalized. This marriage lasted 9 years and ended due to irreconcilable differences. During their relationship, the couple had 2 children, Sophia and Miles Richie. Now, at 75, Lionel is dating a 35-years woman. This relationship has certainly stirred up some talk. Lisa Parigi is an entrepreneur with Caribbean, Swiss, and Chinese heritage, and she speaks 4 languages. The music veteran met Lisa at a dinner party where they were introduced by mutual friends. Sources say they've been together since 2014. In an interview with People magazine in April 2019, Lionel shared details about their relationship and what he's learned about love over the years. "I'm a man who's been through the highs and the lows, through everything possible in love. She's extremely beautiful, but more importantly, she's smart and helps me deal with my crazy world. As shown on her Instagram, Lisa is also very close to Lionel's children, especially his daughter Sophia. So, that's a bit about Lionel Richie's journey. Did you enjoy today's video? How many of Lionel's songs do you know? Leave your answer in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, as it's very important for us to keep bringing you content like this every week. Thanks for sticking with me until the end, and see you next week.